I woke up after 4 hours of sleep, barely aware of who I am. I don't even have time to go through the stages of grief and put coffee on. And I see on Twitter that Stephen Mango has put out an apology video. I think it's more accurate to call it a video that has apology in the title, but we'll get to that. And some of you might be saying, Kerry, don't let Stephen Mango live in your head rent free. Oh, it's not free. And today's the day he pays with interest.
Ich lass mich heute Abend blicken. Ich komm gut geschmückt in den Laden geritten. Alle tanzen, die Damen sind echt entzückend. Ganzes Backblech voller Sahne.
So I guess I'm back from my hiatus, and I'm inspired to make a vlog today of all days when I've had 4 hours of sleep and have to get the house ready for company, and I have peri-PMS. That probably means I should be locked up like a werewolf before the full moon. Anyway, I was inspired because I watched this video. I debated watching it because I know there are going to be people who say he just wants attention, and you make a good point, but you can't be in the drama community without looking at all of the drama, really. And I like to chime in on these things, and I think Stephen Mango is an interesting case study because I think he sincerely thinks he's making a very good fake apology. So his video that has apology in the title is 34 minutes long. I'll save you a lot of time because from what I've seen from the Mango videos I've watched, there's always going to be a big chunk where he's going to talk about his experiences with all of the jobs he's not doing, how he pursued hair, and now he's got a production company, and then he's got carpal tunnel. That's always part of every video, his ambition. Scientology gets a mention. It's always in there. But he starts out this video without agreeing, but puts in a lot of dated clips of people talking about him to show all of the buzz there's been.
Making slanderous accusations against me is Mango Tea.
Is Mango Tea the new John Cookian?
My opinion on a certain type of drama that is going on right now that has to do with a fruity tea.
Mango Tea. He's worse than Cookian. Completely worse than John Cookian.
Today's video is going to be about Mango Tea. I know a lot of people, namely Mr. Mango supporters, are wondering why myself and others are drawing comparisons between him and John Cookian.
Today, reluctantly sticking my nose in on the topic of Tawny Michelle and Mango Tea.
Oh, hang on. That last gal looked familiar. Imagine my surprise. Imagine how surprised I wasn't when I scrolled down to the description box and saw once again he used a bunch of people's clips and did not give them credit. And this is where I have to go out of sequence with his apology because I have to connect these dots properly. You're not going to believe, if you haven't seen this video, you're not going to believe this clip I'm about to show you is from the same video that uses these clips that he didn't give the description for.
I'm learning that. I never had to credit a source because my videos have always been my personal experience. I never had to go and credit something that I was talking about. I didn't know how important it was from this like beauty drama stuff that you have to actually credit. Like just like a college report, you have to be able to credit your source. So I am going to get better at that. If I ever have to use someone's screenshots or anything like that, I'm gonna make sure to link that down in the description box. I am basically trying to let you guys know I'm doing what I can to better my channel and take things that others have said to me or whatever to really consider it because I want to be one of the best drama channels on YouTube.
Really? Because I think that rule should apply to everyone whose content you use, not just special tweets and receipts. And by the way, is this an apology video or are you accepting a Lifetime Achievement Award?
And it really made me think, and especially about the influence and the platform that I may have on social media, and that I should be using it to inspire and help others and do good things. I came on YouTube initially because I wanted to help people. I just need you guys to kind of understand me a little bit. I know a lot of different people don't really know, like, who is Steve Mango? Who is this guy behind Mango Tea? I just sort of popped up out of nowhere, and people may have been, I guess I kind of know that they were like, who is this guy? Like, who is Steve Mango? I was someone who came to YouTube initially because I don't have friends in real life. I was just really like lonely growing up. So when I was involved with the Church of Scientology, facing this dream that I had to be an actor or whatever it was at the time, you know, to be a performer, to make people laugh or smile or whatever my like true purpose was at that time. This video that I've ever posted on YouTube just like blew up. Like I never thought almost, I think it's like right under 1 million views right now. And I'm going to stick up for all those other people who feel like they don't have a voice. You know, I wanted to make a difference. I didn't really necessarily think I knew what a drama channel really was until I got into that world. I didn't really know what I was signing up for. That's what you guys saw in me from the beginning, was like someone who was having fun with drama. And that's why I started to grow at a quick rate from the beginning. I grew my channel based on being in my opinion, a more positive light, a more positive spin. I come out very like over the top, rambunctious and stuff on my channel, but I feel like I haven't really shown who I am as a person because I play up my personality and people really see the true me. And that's why I want to vlog and I want to do story times and I want you guys to know like who the real Mango T is. No one's going to be able to let you into my world better than I can. I feel like you guys can relate to me, I relate to you, and it's just, I just love YouTube so much that I'm so blessed that I can do this as my job, and I want this to be my job, and being able to have both your passion and your job mixed together is great.
Oh, I feel you, Ben. Now, that was just my depiction of how I saw a lot of the pontificating as I perceived it. And those clips, of course, were taken out of context, but they are in sequence. And because I'm not a weasel, I'm going to put a link to the full video below. That's the right thing to do, regardless of whom you like or dislike. And now, the reason I was irked enough to make this video, and I haven't chimed in on a whole lot of tea these last 3 weeks. Zero, not even Manny MUA's apology. But I felt a need to say something about this, and let's start with his apology to Nick Snider.
Also wanted to apologize to Nick Snider because I circulated a rumor on a live stream about Nick Snider. I don't want to repeat it on here, but I circulated a rumor about him when, again, him and I have had a history of going back and forth with each other. He's made several videos about me. I've called him out before, whether it's live stream or social media. It got to a place where I was fighting fire with fire, and I wanted to come for him in a very strong regard. Again, it wasn't right for me to say any of the stuff that I said about Nick Snider. I think it was very low and very disgusting of me to say any of those things that I've said about Nick Snider, again, just for his own sake. I'm not going to repeat any of the different things I said. When you guys get angry and you fight with people, sometimes it goes to a place where you just cross the line. And I crossed the line with things I said about Nick Snider, and I shouldn't have ever reposted the photo of Beauty Truth Sleuth.
I bet a 6th grader could tell me why that was such a horrible apology. But in case there's anybody here with the intellect of Steven who not only can't stop themselves from doing things that have consequences, that are thoughtless, but doesn't really know how to apologize either, or doesn't know how an apology works, I will let you know what's wrong with that. Number one, the cadence. He's talking like he's a bored waiter. And this isn't the biggest problem, but it's part of it. Where he's like, and we went back and forth, and then it went too far, and we have the tilapia for $8.99. That's a horrible apology. The worst part about it is it says it got to the point where I went fire with fire, making it look like maybe he didn't draw first blood. It was 2 of them. They're both no fault. It's a draw because they were both to blame. Oh, no, 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 no. There are receipts right down to the day where Stephen Mango sent his first tweet attacking Nick, who had said 0 about him. Nothing. Nothing for months. They weren't buddies or friends or anything, but he was staying to his own lane. That is empirically the truth. And now Stephen's apology is completely negated based on the fact that he will not put the truth in that apology. That tells me you're not remorseful. You just want to be forgiven. And that's not the same thing as being sorry. Now, it's kind of funny because Stephen said that he didn't want to mention the rumors that he had started, or he said rumor, I think it's more than one, that he started about Nick Snider. He wasn't going to link his channel or do him that favor, but he's so very sorry. And the funny thing is that Nick is the first person who will talk about those rumors. You can find them right there on his channel, Viewer's Voice, and Nick Snider. He's talked about it very openly. He was nothing but candid and amused by how ridiculous a lot of the comments were. And absolutely, positively, Mango drew first blood. We don't know why. It could have been for attention. It could have been something else he perceived as a threat. I really don't know. But it was started by him. And Nick deserves his own apology. Not buried somewhere in a 34-minute video, which is mostly the story of Stephen's life, and not conflated with someone else's apology. And that brings me to Stephen's apology to Beauty Truth Sleuth. And this is the part of the video that really incenses me. I have to try and keep my emotions at an even keel.
Like, I just need to take ownership for the different things that I've done wrong. The first thing that I wanted to talk about was in regard to Beauty Truth Sleuth.
Okay, it's the first thing he wants to talk about, but it's not the first thing he does talk about because it's 18 minutes into the video. Just giving you a little context there.
And I want to be able to dot my I's, cross my T's, if that means watermarks, if that means crediting sources, whatever. So that's what kind of got me in trouble in the beginning with Beauty Truth Sleuth. I don't want to go into all the drama between her and I. She has done different things to me that have hurt me, as I'm sure I've done things that have hurt her.
I'm sure I did something. The cornerstone of a very good apology. Nothing comes to mind right now, but I'm sure I did something. I'm not going to go into it. And we have a lovely mushroom risotto. Would you like to start with a carafe of our house wine?
Tell her to apologize to me for different things that I feel was wrong of her to do to me. I, again, am not saying that I approve or support her channel, but again, as someone who is in the beauty drama world, I do want to apologize to Beauty Truth Sleuth because I recirculated an image of her on my Twitter as well as her name. I found it on Guru Gossiper. Now at the time she was coming very strongly for me. She said on a live stream like, oh, it's already out there if you like want to find me, someone doxed me online, whatever. That is 100% not right. I didn't dig up the information. I found it on Guru Gossip. It is my fault. I recirculated her name and her image on a much bigger platform than Guru Gossiper. Yes, it was on a public forum, but I did wrong by her to repost that when she wanted to maintain her privacy. I thought of it as some type of revenge to get back at her for the back and forths we've had over the last couple months. Again, none of that's an excuse for my behavior. I am sorry to Beauty Truth Sleuth for revealing her photo or her name or reposting it or getting involved with that whole situation. It's not right of me to have done that. I am going to be the bigger person to apologize and say that I shouldn't have done that to her.
No shit. You know, I say this with all due respect because no respect is due here. Let me explain to you why this apology makes me so livid. Some months back, last winter, when it became apparent that Stephen Mango was suing a beauty channel, and shortly thereafter became very obvious it was Beauty Truth Sleuth, he admitted it very quickly, I think through Twitter, but I'm not 100% sure about where that cat got out of the bag, but everybody knew that he was suing her. And that didn't seem right to me. The way it was announced, knowing his history, knowing he has no grounds and his husband, a lawyer, would tell him that he had no grounds, but he still claimed to be going through with a court case that nobody saw on any docket anywhere. All of these things gave me a very uneasy feeling, and I became very convinced that Stephen wanted her information for the sole purpose of doxing her. This was not an impulsive, sudden thing. And in fact, I commented that suspicion in several places, and I think I tweeted it, but when Beauty Truth announced that she was being sued by a channel, I commented under that video that I believe it was his intent to dox her. I believed that to the core of my being. And as the days went on, and I just thought, this guy cannot be planning to do this, but he was like a dog with a bone. He really wanted her information. And as soon as he got it, he shared it with everyone. was not an impulsive decision. It was done with forethought and malice. Was not something that happened because they were in an argument that got heated and escalated. He planned it. He did not at any point talk himself out of that. And now, months later, and both of his apologies, where he's acting like everything is a no fault because everybody got wrapped up in everything, now he's saying, I probably shouldn't have doxed her. What good are these apologies when you can't ever talk yourself out of doing something horrible? No, I'm not saying he's as bad as guys on death row. But he definitely has a problem recognizing consequences. And if I hear one more person say they own it and they take responsibility, that is the mantra of people who don't want to and don't know how to apologize or won't apologize. Owning it is not saying you own it. Saying that you are the bigger person is not an apology. You're a bigger person because you're apologizing? No. What would make you a bigger person would be if you were willing to talk about how small your behavior was. Now, that wouldn't make you a bigger person than Beauty Truth Sleuth, but it would make you a bigger person than the way you appear in people's eyes right now. Rightfully so. As it happens, when I went to get the video from Steven's channel, I saw that he was live on YouNow. And I clicked on it, and I was there for about 30 seconds. I was curious if he was talking about this situation, and he was. And for the short time that I was there, he said, they, because he likes to call everybody a they, nothing I say will be good enough for them. They will always have a problem with anything I say. And that's really sad if he thinks that's the truth. Because people aren't jealous. They aren't mad at you because they're not people who can be pleased. You gave a horrible apology. You've done horrible things. And you've often done them unprovoked. That's also missing from your apologies. Remorse, acknowledging what you did, and the apology should fit the crime. And with what you did to Beauty Truth Sleuth, and the rumors that you brush off so lightly about Nick Snider, you ought to feel enough remorse to not give these backhanded, weak apologies. Some people were suggesting earlier today on Twitter that this entire video was basically Mango doing damage control because he didn't want anybody to do a video about him, and the absolutely idiotic choice he made to do a video with a guy who claimed he had met at Manny MUA and hooked up with him. And that guy was somebody that everybody instantly saw a red flag in, except for Stephen Mango, who saw an opportunity somehow and spoke to him and went live and gave credence to his horrible and personal types of accusations. And in this video, kind of sidesteps that and says that he's sorry. Oh, but somebody called me and confirmed that it was true. But, you know, whether it's true or not, I shouldn't have done that. So that was just another little horrible apology that kind of got slipped in there. And it was suggested that the whole video was for damage control so that he wouldn't have to answer for that. And the fact that most of that video is a campaign about why you should like Mango makes me think that there is some truth to that. And that, in fact, it's a preemptive apology / damage control. One of the people that Mango had apologized to in the past, poorly, because that's how he does that, was Tawny Michelle. If you recall, he said some things about her that were just rumors he threw out there in the moment, as you do. And he kind of apologized to her. He had made a claim that Tawny had been talking about him nonstop and tweeting about him nonstop. And Tawny, I didn't know her very well at the time, but she said she didn't delete tweets, and I believed her based on what I saw on her timeline and what I saw from her. And I had gone back to January, and I looked at every single one of her tweets, and one was about him, and it wasn't even rude. It was, okay, so anyway, fast forward to these two kind of just agreeing to stay in their own lanes, and recently he's become, you know, on the radar again. Tawny had said she felt she sent him a very benign tweet, but that was like, you know, hey, you're being a mess again. I don't know the specifics of that, but I do know that this created friction and Stephen blocked her. Didn't talk anything out with her. He didn't even take the time, to make up some rumor. So he blocks her, and I couldn't help but notice on today's apology video, the video that has apology in the title, Stephen had a comment. The very first comment seemed to be by a sock account that took a dig at Tawny. Now, he's been accused of kind of patting the tip jar, putting out some comments under socks to support himself, to kind of prime the pump and get the comments going. And I have to tell you, this reeked of that kind of MO. And I'd love to know what you think. I'm going to put up a shot of that conversation. And if you go to the link in the video, if you scroll all the way to the first one, you can go to oldest or scroll all the way to that comment, you'll see that there is a thread about Tawny, and Tawny actually chimed in on it, as did I. So I'd love to know your thoughts about that in the comments. Overall, if you wasted 34 minutes of your life like I did, tell me what you think about that video as well. I actually could go on about this apology. I think this is my longest video. I could dissect it more. I could talk more about how Stephen Mango passively aggressively likes to give people the finger that he doesn't like by not putting their name in links. When he doesn't like them, he'll use their content and not give them credit. That's his little way of saying F you, which ironically makes him just like the person he says he's nothing like. That's a cookie-in move, that kind of smug, sticking it to you kind of thing. So if you don't want people to compare you to Cookie-in, I don't know, maybe stop acting like him. Now, I will say, Cookie-in went to another level with his illegalities, in my opinion, but that's not saying much to say you're not like Cookie-in, but you have that same immaturity and that same snide Scientology kind of tactic that you've never shed. So I could go on, but I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to say thank you so much if you've watched this far. I do appreciate you. As always, I don't speak for everyone, just everyone who wants to be right. So saith a housefrau. I almost have to thank Stephen for making me come out of my funk and make this video. I almost have to thank him. And I will, when he gets very good at apologizing and gives a meaningful apology that explains what he's done wrong and shows true remorse and true empathy. So 10 years after the Earth crashes into the sun,